going live anyway. Here we are.
Yeah. Hey.
We're live. What's up, everybody? So J-Dubs is on vacation. That man takes a lot. He takes more vacations than our previous president. I'm just saying. He takes a lot. He takes a lot of vacations. So
hey,
he's not here.
He's the king of the J-Dubbies, crap. So that does call for a vacation.
It does. It does. So he's not here. And we were like, hey, let's do something a little bit different since we just moved the show to Thursdays. Yeah. Unfortunately, I had a power outage because we were going to start like an hour ago. So everything came back together and we were going to have a moderator. Our original moderator wasn't able to make it. Our backup moderator, he's still not here. He was like, yeah, I'll make it. So we'll see.
I'll make it.
If he doesn't, then we still got some topics. And maybe you guys are familiar with stuff like, what do we like to base this kind of off of, Mooch? We do a little bit of a back and forth.
Well, listen, I got a lot of people write me throughout the week. I'm sure you get the same thing. They go, you and Crap have really good chemistry on podcasting. So we really do. You know what it is a lot of people say, I don't know if you guys listen to Mike and Mike that used to be on ESPN in the radio in the morning, a bunch of different people. I think we have a good back and forth because here's the deal, Crap. Okay, we both like gaming. We both love games, but not necessarily the same games. And not necessarily gaming at the same time. So the whole point of the matter is we make for a great debate. So it's good to have a healthy discussion about hot topics in gaming that me and you may see eye to eye on, and maybe we don't. And I think the audience wants to hear it.
Yeah, I think I would hope they want to hear it. I mean, why the hell not? I think that
well, I'm here. I want to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here too. Like there are some hot topics, especially if people pay attention, right? Like, okay, like we could start off with something like Black Ops 4, right? Like for me personally, I think it's the first Call of Duty I'm not going to buy. When you read about it, you see that, hey, not only is it a game that has no single player, but it was a game that was going to have single player, and they decided to scrap it. And only last year did they decide to include the Blackout mode. So they were originally intending to deliver this game to us with no blackout mode, no campaign, just multiplayer and zombies.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Chris, thank you. It's great. He's back.
Chris is back. Chris, I hope you're in the Crossfire tomorrow because I take, Mooch takes all kinds of change.
He does.
Crap. The thing he does, to be honest with you, Crap, about Call of Duty, and don't get me wrong, I understand your point. And Hellhammer made some great points, Xbox Nation, a few weeks back when he said, they're taking it out. So you're getting less for your money. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay. When you go to Dairy Queen, you go there for the Blizzard. Okay. That's what they do. That's what they do. And I
go for the chicken nuggets.
Well, first of all, you're out of your mind. But that's okay. Right? That's fine. But don't get me wrong. Maybe you had a burnt nugget. Yeah. Okay, maybe you had a burnt burger there, and you're like, I went to Dairy Queen last night, and the burger tastes like shit. And I go, you know what, Crap? You go there for ice cream. So if they stop selling, right? If they stop selling burgers,
intolerant, by the way. So
are you really?
Yes, I am.
That's awful as an Italian. Oh my God,
dude! I know it sucks. Because I like ice cream.
All these years, I've never known that.
Yeah, I'm lactose intolerant. I eat sherbet.
I eat sherbet. That's great. Yeah, forget the sherbet and the ice cream. That's not even the point. You can't eat pizza? What do you do about the pizza?
Well, it depends. I can eat pizza. I just like the real bad stuff is like milk. I can't have an ice cream. Those two are the worst.
Listen, I got news for you. Once we pass the cereal stage, milk, we kind of said goodbye to milk a while ago.
Yeah,
I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with milk.
Yeah, you know what I like though. I really like the almond milk. That stuff is great. It's amazing.
Easy, it tastes good. Crap. The problem with almond milk is that tastes like Elmer's glue. It's very dense.
Well, you can get it that's vanilla flavor, and it tastes I think it tastes really good, especially if it's really cold. So I mean that's sort of my answer if I do have cereal or whatever. But when it comes to like Black Ops 4, for me personally, they are taking away stuff. Not only are they taking away stuff, but they're taking away the ability to buy the map packs individually as well, which I think is really a blow to the community because that splits up your community. You're going to have some people that have the map packs and some people aren't because they're making you buy them all. Whereas sometimes people would only buy the good ones. Let's be honest. Not all the map packs that Call of Duty releases are good, right? So that's That's the problem. And I think
DLC in most games sucks.
Yeah, so they're like pay $60 for this game that has no campaign, and then pay another what, 40 or 50 for the map pack for the season pass or whatever. That to me is a lot to ask.
First of all, we can't go down that path yet, crap. You can't start complaining about the additional cost, okay? Let's talk about what we're getting for the $60 first. You can't, no one's ever said, you know, I was really going to buy Prey, but once I found out I had to pay $15 for the, no, nobody says that. So I would like the jury to completely strike that last part from Crapgamer. Now let me get back to my Blizzard analogy, because we went off on a food tangent and lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
But this game is known as a multiplayer game. That's what people play Call of Duty for. People are playing Call of Duty right now after this Mooch and Crap segment. They're playing it because of the multiplayer. No one right now is like, let me get my Timberlands on and get my all suited up in my World War II outfit and play some campaign. No. So my whole thing is that all you're really losing out on is that, yes, I'll use your words, that Michael Bay, walk a straight line, a helicopter is going to crash in front of you. No, you're not going to die from it because it's all just part of the scenery. And then you're just going to keep following Captain Stu Nuts down this path until the end finally reaches, right? So sometimes you're Kevin Bacon, sometimes you're Jon Snow, whatever.
Yeah.
That is all rubbish. Okay. It is absolutely a waste of milk. No lactose intolerant, pun intended. But this is a multiplayer game only. Now they're giving you, and I understand, crap. Listen, let's just call a spade a spade. You're not a big fan of Battle Royale. It's just, I don't really think it's your thing.
I like PUBG. I don't like Fortnite.
Well, you like it, but you, again, you don't really play it anymore.
Yeah, I used to play it.
That's not a dig. That's not a dig.
Like I used to play it. The problem is it's the optimization of it. Out of all the Battle Royale games that are out,
right?
It's my favorite one, but it's just so poorly optimized that it makes it kind of not fun to actually go out there and play it, you know. But for me, I think it's odd that Black Ops 4 is coming out not too long from now, right? We're in August, so in a couple months, and we don't know anything about the blackout mode.
Well, okay, let's talk about that for a second, Crap. Are you at least intrigued?
I'm not at all, to be honest with you.
Why though?
Because I don't know anything about it. You know, they haven't really shown it off.
Well, that's
I'm
why
not
I said intrigued and not fascinated.
Yeah. Well, I'm not intrigued or fascinated or even curious. Like that game is not on my radar at all. It's the first Call of Duty not on my radar whatsoever in terms of
this is the
buying
first in a long time that is on mine.
Yeah,
because of the blackout.
If I can play a Mooch, a Moochism, I don't think you're gonna play it for long. Right. Well, I think you're gonna play it a little bit, and then you're gonna be like, you know, it's not what I thought it was. If I were you, Mooch, I would start putting some feelers out to mooch this game, so you don't have to pay for it. That way, you're not out $60. And
you're well aware that you're probably about an hour late already, Crap. Of course, I got my feelers out there. But the thing is now let me ask you this question, Crap: is the Call of Duty Black Ops 4 beta? That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Is that only on PlayStation 4 this weekend?
Yeah, they get the exclusive beta on PS4. Exclusive deal. Yeah.
Okay, so that's fine. If anybody in the chat, by the way, or has a friend that has an extra code, hit me up on Twitter. You guys know how to get a hold of me. But, well, you know what? Listen, I wouldn't mind trying it out, but I'm not, you know, someone goes, well, Mooch, all you got to do, this was fun.
Pre-order the game.
Get in the car, drive to GameStop, plunk down $5, get the code, come home, then cancel it. Apparently that person's not a Mooch.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
That is a lot of work to go out there and cancel it and pre-order it.
For something like Crap said, I'll be honest with you, and I'm not going to get the chance to play Blackout, so I'm just going to be playing multiplayer maps.
Yep.
Like I'm going to use your words, like I haven't done that before.
Yep. And I mean, that's exactly how it's going to go. So I'm not sold on the game. If people are like, oh my God, Blackout is the greatest thing ever, you know, then maybe I'll try to mooch the game or whatever from one of them crapaholics. But to be honest with you, man, there's so much coming out this holiday and around that time that I'm good without it, because I got to be honest, as much as I like Call of Duty World War II, I don't play it. The campaign was the highlight for me. I loved it. I thought it was amazing.
Well, you know why?
And I don't play the rest. So
listen, and this is something that might help your case a little, but let me put it in different terms. I think there's just so many games now in multiplayer. Do you remember when Call of Duty really was the 800-pound gorilla? Like everybody was playing. It was the go-to game.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people it still is, but it's not the only go-to game. And not to sound like, a broken record, but there's the PUBGs, there's the Fortnites, there's Overwatch. Okay, there's Gears.
There's that new one that's coming out, Realm Royale.
Realm Royale is coming out, right? And then there's these, and then there's a million other ones that just get in the way of the big boys that and the big boys, they get sick of them. Like there's that new Vigor game. There's just all these other, H1Z1 with 10 million people playing it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many of these other games that are occupying people. That's why when you say to me, Mooch, I'm not really playing Call of Duty World War II multiplayer. I'm just not. And I'm like, you know what? Neither am I. Yeah. I'm playing a lot of multiplayer, but I'm playing either I have gone back and played a few more rounds in the past few weeks of PUBG, but nothing substantial. I think I'm kind of battle royaled out, and I'm enjoying. And crap, I'm not going to talk you into it. We know you don't like it, and I'm not going to talk you into it. But the reason I play a little bit more Fortnite, again, I'm a little bit more biased because the kids play it. But besides that, I realistically like to say that Fortnite, what you don't like in the building, I actually find to be the one of the better parts of the game, because if it was just running around in a cartoony atmosphere doing the same thing as PUBG but cartoony, it wouldn't really hold my attention. Yeah, see, it would because it's so much smoother than PUBG. So I mean, I guess we can transition into PUBG versus Fortnite. I'm more of a PUBG guy. I like more of the realistic, the realistic guns and things like that, the non-building aspects. I like the fact that you can, I guess there are some emotes and stuff like that, but it doesn't seem as childish to me. It seems more tactical. Oh, like there's a lot of tactics and planning and stuff like that. Right. When I played Fortnite, it's like maybe it's because I haven't really had anybody really kind of explain it to me or kind of get. It's like, grab that drink. Okay, now drink that. Or okay, well, it's down to us in the last group. Last couple of people, and then like somebody's like, let's go get, there's not really that strategy, and I'm a big strategist, right? So I always liked having strategies, and okay, let's go here. I'm a very kind of by the number, when we play PUBG, Mooch, Pachinki, right? And then we just go from there, right? We scab. I have the same house that I go into and start off on. It's just like I have this kind of thing. When it comes to Fortnite, it's like this weird rave type situation, right? Well, and it's realistically crap. And don't get me wrong, I know what you're saying, because if you just popped in and play the way you do, I know what you mean. It is there, but like the same way you go to Pachinki, right? Like a lot of people will go. I don't, but a lot of people will go to like Tilted Towers for Fortnite. And the other, myself personally, I don't go there. I go to like I think it's called Haunted Hills or something like that. Yeah, I either go to Haunted or I go to Retail Row or one of those things. I can't remember. And since the new one, there's been a couple mix up in different names and terminology. But nonetheless, like you go there, you get your familiar places, you know where your chests are, you know what's going on, this, that, and the other thing. But the thing about it with PUBG is, and you're right, everything you said was right. It's more tactical. It's more this, and that's true. It's definitely more, your heartbeat is beating way more, I think, when you're in the last top 5 of PUBG than when you're in Fortnite. But PUBG is just so slow. Like, it's just so slow. The map is so big. I mean, you know what I mean, Crap. When there's like 25 people left and the circle's still pretty massive, and you're in a car. You're in a car, and we're driving, and you don't see a soul. People start Mad Maxing it. Right. They Mad Max it all over, right? It's just, I don't know. For some reason, I just think PUBG it wore on me. I mean, I've got about 100 hours on it. If it's not 100, it's like 95. I got a lot of hours on it. I just, for some reason, I got right around that 100-hour mark, and I said, it's kind of like that Seinfeld meme. I'm like, I'm done. Like, I was just like, I don't necessarily feel the urge to go back. And yourself and Predator, shout out to Pred, the guys I played a lot of it with, they don't really play. You guys don't play it anymore. So it's kind of like, that's why, and shout out to Rand. Rand plays with the same 3 people he's been playing since the day the game launched on Xbox Preview. And that team, that core that they have, they play solid. He says he has like 115 wins or something. He's got a ton of wins, 150 wins or something. That's impressive because he's got a unit. With us not having that, it's like, okay, I'm just playing solo, and I can only do that so much. Same thing goes for Fortnite. But again, Fortnite being comical, goofy, the outfits change every 2 hours. You can buy different outfits. Not that I do,
Yeah.
but people, the images change, the environment changes. Every whatever it is, 50 or 60 days when the new battle pass comes out, crap, bang. All of a sudden they have new environments, new this, new that, and it's like that's the stuff that keeps Fortnite fresh. Where PUBG's gotten a little stale, and that new map they gave us with the sand, what is that called, Miramar?
Yeah,
that's awful.
Well, they're adding more. I'm looking forward to the more maps and things like that. Boom, boom, kaboom.
Kaboom, yes.
Oh, boom, boom.
Yes. A little bit late, got stuck in traffic trying to get home. Wife sent me out on some errands. You know how that goes. But I am here. Yeah, so...
We're just talking about.
What can I tell you, Mooch? You haven't played the PUBG until you go out there and you play it with the best, and that is Dutch. You've got to come with Dutch and the rest of the gang from Predator. We kick ass, we mow down trees. We don't care about the leg and on the rubber banding because it never bothered me. I still can't get rid of this accent.
Good.
Do you get to the chopper? Because that's important.
Get to the chopper.
Yes, we can get to the chopper. I don't think there is any choppers, but maybe there should be a couple of those PUBG games. You got to mix it up a little bit.
Why not?
I haven't played PUBG in like forever, man. I played that Miramar map a couple of times, and same old story. Get to the last couple of circles and get fucking annihilated by some little maggoty ass pimple that's like 500 miles off in the distance. It's just like Mooch used to say about Battlefield, how you get you know, shot by the little gleam of light that's like 500 miles away, and you're like, where'd that come from? The flies are biting me again.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, but hold on. The whole thing with that, there's different game modes you can play. Because I agree, that is a problem when it comes to certain aspects of Battlefield. Excuse me. But when it comes to PUBG, like I said, I'm more of the tacticianer. I like that kind of stuff. Fortnite, just man. It's like a rave. You know what I mean? It's
you gotta play with me, crap at night. We'll get a group together, dude. You'll love it. It's not, and I try. If I do one dance, you can boot me from the group. Oh, shit!
It's crazy. That's what it reminds me of.
That's what it reminds me of. Honestly, it reminds me of like somebody using auto tune, and you got like light flashing all the time, and people dancing and doing weird little. That's what it reminds me of. It's like every time I tried to take it serious and get into a game, something stupid happened, right? And it just is utterly ridiculous. And I'm not a big fan of that. You know what I mean? Like that's the problem for me personally. I'm not a fan of that kind of That's a more casual.
I'm with you, Crap. I mean, Fortnite reminds me of a disco rave mixed with Minecraft and some weird ass shooting game. All throw it into one. You know, it's a mix mash and a whole hash. And I don't know. Every time I watch people playing that online, I'm just like,
well, that's
let's build a house and shoot 20 people. Like, what the hell?
I'm with you on that. I got to be honest with you. So there's things that I don't know. Maybe I'm the one that does things differently. I use Mixer, Twitch to watch games I don't know much about, to learn the game a little bit and see some pros. Like to watch somebody play Fortnite. And don't get me wrong, there's like what's his face there, Ninja. That guy there, I don't watch him on Twitch, but like he'll send out like 2-minute clips or minute-and-a-half clips on Twitter of like him doing some crazy like he does some solo stuff, and the way he's built so quick and he kills people so quick in that game, it's impressive. But unless you're watching somebody that's like a ridiculous pro, like let me give you an example. You guys all like to watch like Iron Chef, right? On the cooking channel there. Like that's awesome. They have an hour. They have to make 5 courses in one kitchen. Like it is intense to watch. And the clock's ticking down. It's no nonsense. It's 60 minutes. And they got to make that. You're watching a true professional make 5 courses. Okay. That's something. Now, if somebody just put a camera and started film their grandparents, you know what I mean? Making like some kind of mac and cheese dish that's special to their family. No one's watching that on YouTube. It's not the same thing. So my point being is I don't just want to watch 100 different people playing Fortnite. I don't mind watching a pro who can kick ass and take names. So that's my thing. I mean, so Noof, when you say you're bored and it puts you to sleep, absolutely. I'm right there with you.
But that's the whole genre. Like I'm just not keen on this whole the whole battle royale sort of genre. It just I don't like the way it works. Well, I mean, that's the catch for some people.
It's a mode. It's not really a game. You know, it's a mode. So I don't blame you. That's like if I said, hey, Noof, do me a favor. Tonight, tune into my Mixer channel. Tonight, we're going to go through the options menu and gears.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this. It's just the Fortnite is annoying to me.
Yeah.
It's very just the whole aesthetic is very annoying to me. The whole culture to it is kind of annoying to me. When you have parents paying tutors to teach their kids to play, Fortnite. Hey, Chris, he says, "Kaboom, noof, what's up?"
Nice.
What's going on, brother?
I'm just saying, like, for me personally, just the more realistic, and that's not to say I don't like those style of stylized graphics, because I do, just for that game, and it runs smoother, but there's just something about it that I'm not really a big fan of. So, I mean, just being honest about that, for me personally, that's just the way it rolls for me. And although not to say that I wouldn't keep giving it a try, but just for me personally, like, I just can't get into it. I think the building hurts it a lot too. Like I'm not really into that. You start going after somebody and they're building, the Leaning Tower of Pizza or whatever, and I'm not a fan of it. So
right. Yeah. No, I hear you. What's our next debate, Crap?
We have Sea of Thieves. Is it a hit? Now, I think it's a hit for sure. Over 5 million players in 4 months.
Yeah,
that's huge. They just announced a new DLC that came out, which I think is doing pretty well. I couldn't even get into the game. I wanted to try today, but power outage kind of killed that. We were kind of talking about this a little bit yesterday, and I said, here's a good example. Forza Horizon 3, which we've confirmed that's a hit, right? Did really well.
Yes, Forza Horizon 3.
Yeah, they said 9 million players. So 9 million players on that game in 2 years. And we already have over 5 million.
9 million bought.
Well, no, they didn't say sales. They say 9 million players, right?
Well, how can you play Forza Horizon 3 if you don't own it?
Well, lots of people. You can game share it. You can, you know what I'm saying? Okay. There's lots of,
split it in half. 5 million.
Well, I mean, they could. I don't know. But for me personally, because that's how they use it, they use the players, not so much sales. Okay. So for me, Sea of Thieves is a unmitigated success. I think it's like a huge success. I actually think that it's from what I understand, it did better than Gears 4 did in sales.
Well, here's the thing, Crap.
That's pretty damn incredible.
So if you're gonna be impressed with 5 million users, okay, let me give you an analogy that I was telling you in the DMs a couple days ago, and I'll give the audience. A lot of people went to go see Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
I didn't, thankfully.
No shit. You were like 6. But here's my point.
Even when I was on video or something, I was like,
But a lot of people did.
Yeah.
So they went and saw the movie. But when they asked everybody coming out, they're like, it was fucking awful.
Yeah.
Okay. So my point being is a lot of people went to go see it, but it's a terrible, terrible movie. My point being is just because 5 million people are stopping by to see it doesn't mean it's great. It doesn't mean it's great because people are getting Game Pass, they're turning it on and then going, not for me. But that counts. Okay? So my point being is if you swing by, you stop by, you high-five it, you throw a handkerchief at this game, you're a user. So what I'm saying to you is, yes, it's doing fine, and yes, Microsoft is happy with its success. It is. It's successful. But it's not great. The game's got a lot of problems. And
we're not talking about the problems. We're talking about if it's a successful game or not. I think
it is in Microsoft's gas world. Yeah, but that's about it.
Yeah, and just addressing the guy in the chat that he says they don't. He says they don't release sales because they know it's underwhelming. Sony releases their sales all the time. Sony releases their sales to make themselves feel better. We know for a fact that Xbox games have done well because. Halo 5, for instance, 3 months after its release was at 5 million copies sold, and this is when there was only 14 million Xbox Ones or whatever it was, right, or 18 million, whatever it was. That's an incredible attachment rate. Alan Savage, he says, Sea of Thieves is kind of like Destiny. As soon as you get done with the DLC, you're kind of done with it until some more DLC comes out. That could be true, but the thing is,
difference is the DLC in Destiny lasts longer than an hour and a half. Go ahead, Crap.
Well, no. You can. I think there's a lot of stuff. It depends on what type of gamer you are, and we're going to get into the whole Destiny thing here in a minute. Sea of Thieves was in the top 10 on the NPD there, Van City, and not only was it in the top 10, but it's #1 last week in the UK charts as well for sales. So you can't sit there and say, hey, it's not good. So would you think that Microsoft doesn't have it
right now either?
I understand that. But let me say this. Do you think Microsoft is in the habit right now to throw away money or support something that's not doing well? I don't think they are. And the fact that they're continually hiring for Rare right now, and they have 4 different teams working on DLC, that says it all to me. They're heavily invested into this title going forward, and they're already talking about DLC for the rest of this year and next year, which is more than what they were talking about before it launched. Remember, we interviewed Craig Duncan, and the man himself said, hey, we have no real plans after this year.
Right.
It's up to the fans. So it looks like the fans have kind of spoken. It's not everybody's game. It's not their bag, baby. I get it. But for me personally, I think that somebody that played it at the beginning maybe was disappointed, might go back and play it at the end of the year and find a completely different game.
Yeah.
And that's my point. And I do think it's a success. And I'm glad, because if it wasn't,
but
we don't even know if Rare would be around.
You say what you think it's a success in crap versus just blanket success? Because it's not
I think it's a success. I think it's a success in that it sold more, it sold higher, which is a fact because they've said it.
Yes.
I think that it sold more.
That's a crappy thing they said, though. They're like, it did better than we thought it would. That's like, I mean, what? That's like if you thought you were going to fail a test and then you got, like, instead of a 65, you got a 66. Congratulations.
Well, it did better than. Go ahead, Noof.
Look, when it comes to numbers, it's like this. If you're not in first place, you might as well be in last place. It doesn't matter how good you do. It's like the Olympic runners, right? Usain Bolt comes out, he blazes again. All the press goes to him. He gets number 1.
He blazes, all right, Noof.
Right, exactly. But you look at the second guy. Let's take the runners up who get second and already beat their own personal best, and you might set like their own sort of Olympic records, but nobody even gives a rat's dingle dong, because they're second place or bronze or whatever, and everybody's like, yay! But that, everybody's just going for first. It's typical. We see this in every single industry. It's not just the games industry. People like to gloat, and when you got numbers to back it up, it's great. If you don't, you kind of keep your mouth shut because there's no way you can spin it. When you're second place, doesn't matter if you had the best month in the world. Bottom line is, the haters are going to say, oh, you suck because you still can't beat us. And the people that actually support your product are kind of going, oh, well, that's not impressive. We had a great games lineup and we still came in second or third. So it's that kind of scenario. There's really no winner unless you are the winner and you've got the big numbers to push. So Xbox goes to those exclusive numbers.
Here's the thing, though. It's a changing time now. Like both Microsoft and Sony are using monthly active users as a metric. Going forward, because that's the important part, and a good reason. And when you can start to see this sort of change with the Wii, right? The Wii, a huge success, right? Everybody and their grandma had them, the grandfathers had them, old folks home had them, everybody had them, right? So everybody had them, but was anybody really playing them? No, because they would come out with a couple games here or there that were good, but for the most part, everybody went back to the 360 or their PS3, and that's so basically that while they sold a lot, they're not making a lot off that hardware. It's really keeping people on your services and buying and playing games. And if they're not doing that, you can have 100 million. And Phil Spencer has said this. You could sell a bunch of consoles, but if they're in your closet, they're not doing anybody any good because you're not playing for Xbox Live.
Agreed.
You're not playing for Game Pass. You're not buying their.
Well,
you're not buying.
I said to you, Crap. You have to define, and you just did. You just did. I said you have to define the words success because you can't say it's a blanket success because to be honest with you, it's just listen. We've all been playing games for so long.
Yeah,
like anybody's been playing games
like 28, 29 years,
right? So you can't. That game is empty. There's really not much in it.
Like if you wanted to talk about, there's not. I can understand why people would be disappointed with the game. I've said that all along. For me personally,
yeah, you have.
I wasn't super
bashing the game. I'm not saying that you enjoy it that you shouldn't. I mean, I can't. There's no talker in the world that could ever talk somebody out of that. But I mean, we're having a discussion, and realistically, just because people have stopped by to see it, when a restaurant opens up new in your neighborhood, guys, everybody always goes to see it, right? Yeah. And then after 2-3 weeks. 4 weeks, sometimes it's 2 months, sometimes it's 6 months because the fad is just in place. And then all of a sudden you drive by a year later and you're like, that place is dead or it's closed. And you're like, that place was happening. Remember when we had to wait 2 hours to get a table the first month? And you're like, yeah, I remember that. Like that happens to games too, people. And this is one of those games that is, it gets a little like shock every time a DLC comes out and it scoots to the top and showing me that it did #1 in the UK. you know, when
I'm saying this week,
releases,
I mean, it sticks around in there as well, and not only that, I think that it's done well.
Something.
I wouldn't think that it would. I think that it's probably sold at least a couple million copies.
Yeah,
at
I'll
this
buy
point,
that.
And then you have,
I'll buy that.
And then you have, you know, a lot of players. We don't know how many Xbox One sold even, so it's really hard to say what's a success. But we do know that Microsoft is continuing to support it, and I think these small DLCs are setting up for a bigger set of DLCs later. Like, they have 4 groups. I can only imagine that probably at least 1 or 2 of these groups are working on massive expansions.
Yeah.
Right. And so much like, you know, how people complain about Ghost Recon or Rainbow Six, right? Early on, then they came back to them now, and people love it. Or The Division. We hate The Division, but people love it for some reason, you know. And I think that it has a chance to do something for Microsoft, exactly what they wanted to do. And I think that the fact that right now that they would say over 5 million, I think that's pretty big, because it was only what, 4 million or 3 million at E3.
Yeah.
So it shows that it's still growing, you know.
Yeah. No, it does. I just maybe I'm downhearted that they could have done better. I think they could have done a lot better because the game is gorgeous. It's and like I say, it's seamless. It works so well. It had its hiccups the first week or two, but who cares? But I let that kind of go in a lot of games. If you can't right the ship in a couple of weeks, then I start to say this is a failure. But they did. They righted the ship. I myself personally, we're 2 DLCs in, if you want to call them DLCs. They're calling them DLCs, and they're very empty, shallow things to do. Like I mean, so we've already been crap. Whatever. You're 30s across the board. I'm 30, 20, 20 across the board. Guess what? We still have a lot of hours. We have well over 30 hours into the game. Yeah. And to tell me that now I'm supposed to set sail again and do the same thing we did, but possibly have a boat with the same skeletons we fought on an island, jump on my ship. It's weak, man. It's weak. And that sucks. I'm saying this not as a complainer, but as a gamer. I would rather have this been a little bit more content. And I think Salt maybe said it best last night, that, well, he goes, well, apparently, Mooch, what you're looking for is more of a single player aspect. And that's the thing, because, and I know you're going to want to get into Destiny in a minute, but there's a lot of nights with Destiny, like last night. 2 nights ago, I raided with Xbot in a group, right? Yeah. Last night, I just raided for what, 2 hours with friends. Last night, I just wanted to get some of the little stuff that I had to get done on my daily stuff, you know, things that you just get done to better up, you know, get some power gear, things like that. I played for about an hour myself, got shit accomplished, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to bed. I got to work in the morning. So, like, but with Sea of Thieves, there's no way in God's green earth I'm ever getting on that thing solo and be like, let me hold up the map. Oh, wait, where did I go? Okay, northwest. Wait, who am I yelling at? Myself. Get the hell out of here. Like, I'm not doing that. So it's like the game lacks. It's
not fun by yourself, but I don't think Destiny is fun by yourself either.
Oh,
it
is.
I mean,
I
don't
like Destiny by yourself, then you don't like Halo.
I love Halo. Halo's got a hell of a story.
Story. After you beat the game,
well, I think if you're a shooter fan,
If you're
a shooter fan, Destiny is so much easier to get into because it plays and runs much.
That's what I mean.
Game you've had. Sea of Thieves is not an easy game. It has a learning curve, and it's definitely one of those games you got a great crew to run with. You're going to have a totally different time than running with an inexperienced crew that doesn't know what they're doing. It's kind of hilarious. You might get a ton of laughs, but I mean, I played with both sides of the coin.
Can you play Sea of Thieves alone, Noof?
No, I can't, and I'm pretty good at it. But
I played it alone here.
You got to run away a lot more.
I played it on my own a few times. It's okay. It's actually more scary than anything playing it alone. But
I know what you mean. Like if you get like not raided, but if you get like another ship.
Yeah, like if you see other ships, or especially when you're on an island, because we like to leave somebody that's to watch our stuff. Yeah. And so when you see that kind of happen, you are a little bit kind of freaked out by it or whatever. Right. But at the end of the day, we can talk a little bit about Destiny 2 because that is one of our topics.
Sure.
Does that suck? Right? Because for a lot of the reasons why you hate, well, according to you, for a lot of the reasons that you hate
3 or 4 billion other people. Go ahead.
There's no fucking way that 3 or 4 billion people are playing Destiny 2.
$1 billion.
Not even close to a billion.
Of course there's not a billion.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Like, here's the thing, right?
There's a lot, folks.
Yeah. Like, when you jumped into it, it felt like Destiny 1, looked like Destiny 1, slightly better, I guess. They took away even, I know they fixed it now.
It's back. Yeah, it's back.
Yeah, but they even removed the player count, right? It was like, it was 6 players in the multiplayer. They took it all the way down to 4.
It's back.
Which was asinine. Yeah, but it's like, when you start something off, okay, this is the problem that I even had with the Xbox One and the PS4 when they started off this generation.
Right.
They should have started off with everything we had last generation in those boxes.
That I'll agree.
Yeah, we should have been able to do every goddamn thing right from the start. Same thing with this game. We should have been able to do everything that we did in the last Destiny game. Take your shit with you, or at least your looks, your character. You know what I mean? You should have been able to do that. You should have been able to, it should have been different. It should have been handled different. Maybe 60 frames per second if the X can do that. That's my point. Like 13 achievements. It seems like they didn't even really try in that aspect. Maybe expand it.
Your achievement. I have to ask the jury to strike the achievement comment because you're Mr. Achievements. Okay.
Well,
so
I
the
like
fact that they give
achievements, true, but
I don't. 13 achievements to get the 1,000 is actually remarkable for someone in your position. So I don't know, man. I'm at 870 or 820 achievement points in Destiny because the last one is like, I think the last thing I have to do is do the raid on Prestige. But like, whatever. My point being is that doesn't matter. The thing about the game that's fantastic is that the communities. Shout out to everybody who's listening that plays the game. It's all because of you guys. The community's fantastic. The tower right now is packed with people. Crap. It's packed. It's packed. Okay. It's like the mall when a new movie comes out. It's packed. It's packed. There's people in there like crazy. And I saw when it wasn't. I saw when it went through its little dip. And The Forsaken doesn't come out until September. And it's been packed for 2 months since they even brought it up. They said Forsaken. People are like, get to the tower. Quick.
Not me, man. Like, dude.
Not you. I got to the farm.
I know. No, I'm there, dude. I'm there. I'm
there.
ready. Yeah, I'm there. I'm level 2, 23 light level, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, come at me, man. Come on.
I'm ready to go. You're on your way to that second achievement. Listen,
I don't have one achievement in that game.
You got to play it.
I know. Look, here's the thing. It's so boring. I can't find, like,
I think Destiny boring.
Technically, I guess it handles good, but for me, it's boring.
It's a shooter.
And I get that, but it's not fun for me. Like, I don't have a squad, and when I try to play it by myself, it's just not very fun.
Now, don't get me wrong. Okay, you said you were going to try it again, but you didn't.
Well, I hopped on, man. We just couldn't make that work, man. We got to set it up to where we could both get on it and try it out.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready.
I'm ready to go too, man. I'm ready to hop on it and try this game out, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm ready.
Right.
Anytime, man. Anytime you want to show me why Destiny 2 is great, and I will come on here and apologize.
Mooch loves to talk, but I don't have to talk.
Right T-shirt.
The game will tell you why it's great. No, listen, I'm not saying that Destiny is the greatest thing since sliced bread. You guys got to understand something. First of all, we're doing a show here. So, we're trying to be a little bit entertaining. But the reason it's very good is because it does continue to rope in an audience. And that's an important part of any game. And to say that, like, look at how many people kind of bash Destiny 2. And then I got so many messages, which I made sure Crap saw them all. They're like, I'm reinstalling it. I'm going back. And I'm like, listen. Yeah, because the thing is that because the DLC is enticing, it's probably the best, one of the best. See, it's hard to say the best because then everybody comes at you with all the absolutes. It's not the best. Okay, fine, it's not the best. It's up there. It's one of the best shooting mechanics this generation.
Hey, at least they got rid of the worst actor of all time.
Oh, leave
from the first one. Dinklage was the worst part of that first game. Wizards on the Moon. He was the worst part of Avengers Infinity War. I was telling you that yesterday. I was like, I watched that movie for the first time 2 days ago when it came out, and I loved it.
It's very good.
The part that stuck out to me as the worst part was that man's acting in that movie. He like horrible. He was horrible in Destiny.
I've had enough of Nolan North. So I got news for you. You could have been the ghost.
I could have, because I give me a sheet of paper and I'll read it the same way and probably be better. You know what I mean? But yeah, I will try that game again. And if I think it's good or even adequate or fun, I'll say so, man. I'll say so. But I do want to kind of change subject so that we can kind of get into another one because we're
yes.
running out of time. Crossplay, good or bad? Mooch, what do you think, man? Crossplay, good or bad?
Crossplay, it's not. I guess overall it's good, but for me it's kind of a never was because I don't really need it ever. So, and I mean, I don't mind cross progression. I think we've said that before. I mean, I know it's not the same subject. People like to combine the two, which I think they do go hand in hand, but they are different in the debate. I would say that, crossplay. I don't know. I've got all my friends on Xbox. I've got people that I know are only on PlayStation. When I'm on PlayStation, I'm on PlayStation. I'm on Xbox, I'm on Xbox. So am I right or am I right? All right.
You're right. Right.
I don't know. What is Noof? Go to Noof because you guys know how I feel about it.
Yeah, Noof. What do you think about crossplay, Noof? Do you care? I mean, you dumped your PS4.
I could give a rat's ass about crossplay, to be quite honest. I have no intentions of using it. I really could care less.
Right.
I think it's great. I mean, options are always great. I'll stick by that. If you're a fan of it and you want to use it and you think it's great for your Switch, or your PS4, your Xbox, or whatever the hell it might be cross-playing with, kudos to you, man. But like honestly, I'm cool with the environment we're in right now. I don't need it. I don't really care for it. I don't really give a shit what Sony's stance is because even when I had a PS4, I'd probably never use it anyway. So cross progression, now that's a different story. Cross progression would be really cool. So that way you could go out and say if you're a multiple console owner, you can go out and buy a copy for various systems and take your saves and your progress over, which I think that would be pretty dynamite. But cross-play, I mean, people are making a big hoopla of it because of the whole Fortnite thing. But you know what? Up until Fortnite, there was other games that tried to implement it. Nobody really gave a dang. So just because the popular game of the day kind of all of a sudden people are crying over it. I don't know, like to each their own. But
Steven Roush says, Mooch, you wouldn't want crossplay for Destiny?
I mean, listen, I have a couple of people that I do play Destiny with on PlayStation, but all those people, here's what's funny about it, Steven, they all play on Xbox as well. So to answer your question, not really, because here's the thing. First of all, it looks better on the X, A. B, the Xbox controller for shooters, hands down, destroys. Absolutely destroys. No debate. There's no debate that the Xbox controller destroys the DualShock 4 in a shooting game, in a shooter game. So that right there, like I'm playing Destiny for 2 hours at a clip. Generally, sometimes you do an hour, sometimes you'll do two, sometimes a month for 3 or 4. And there's no way I'm not like I played the PlayStation 4 Destiny 2, and like I'm not kidding you. Like you do get like carpal tunnel from playing with that DualShock 4. It's awful.
Yeah, it is bad. And plus, it runs out of battery. The power runs out on it so quick.
Cross progression would be cool because then the people that have been playing on PS4 that I know as well over there that are farther, they've been playing that one longer over there. I could go and join them and actually be up to snuff with the character I have from Xbox. But that's the problem. So yeah, cross progression. Mooch is a fan. Cross play, I can do without it.
Yeah. See, I'm kind of with you, right? Like, I know this, we're supposed to really debate this, but I thought it was a good topic.
It is.
Cross progression. I love that. If you have a character on Destiny 2, you should have to buy 2 copies for sure.
Yes.
But why can't you take your character and your shit over from PS4 to Xbox to PC or whatever, right?
Right.
That would be smart. Call of Duty the same way. It's not taking sales. It's giving sales because you would need 2 copies of the damn game.
That's right.
Right? Yeah. It's actually helping developers and helping the industry. So why you wouldn't want that, I have no damn idea.
Well,
now cross-play, I couldn't give a shit. Hold on. Chris says, Mooch and Crap, let's play Destiny right now. It's great.
It is great, Chris.
Yeah. Well, like cross-play, to be honest with you, and this isn't the thing, I get it, right? Because Xbox fans do the same thing that PlayStation fans. Do you really think that PlayStation fans gave a shit that 1080p versus 900p? Did they really care about that, or was it just a measuring contest because the thing that they preferred could do it? Xbox fans do the same thing for the most part with the crossplay stuff. Do they really care about crossplay? I would say probably freaking not, right? No. But because it's something that Microsoft wants to do, they're all for it, right? I wouldn't use it. Is options good? Sure. But I don't really care at the end of the day, right? And Sony is in a position, they put themselves in that position. Hell, if Microsoft really wants to put their money with, then go all out, kick ass next generation, and then keep doing this crossplay thing and make it to where Sony has to do it. Like to me personally, that's what I think would be.
I mean, here's the reason Sony doesn't want to partake in all this. Think about it. Even the cross progression thing is because realistically, they're literally, it's like a Dave Chappelle skit where he's like, that's why guys always get like these fancy cars. And then he's like, once you get the girl in the car, he's like, gotcha. It's like once the girl's in the fancy car, you're like, yeah, you're like that. Now she's my girl. Like the whole point about it is like, that's the thing with Sony. They're like, you buy Destiny 2 and you get your guy up to like, or your gal up to 380, right? 385, 400 light, which is now the new max out. Like you get there and then your best friend's like, dude, come over here and play on Xbox. You're like, hell no, I'm not doing that again. Are you crazy? They got you. They're like, gotcha. Yeah. And it's like, all right? Yeah. That's his whole thing. So like, that's the point I'm trying to make is Sony does not want you to go taste the fruit, okay, of thy neighbor. Yeah. They want you to stay home. Stay there. Stay here. We got the game right here. Why do you want to go over there? That's what they're saying to you. And they're like, well, my friends are over there. Well, you got it here. It's like your parents telling you can't go next door to play with your friends.
Dude in the chat that says because you can use the console services to buy skins. Who's to say that you're still not going to pay? I would think that you're not going to spend $60 in skins. So the fact that you're buying a whole nother piece of content, a whole nother game, that I would think that says it all.
Your skins can move with you.
Yeah, he's saying that the reason why I guess he's trying to
he's giving
say cross progression is bad.
Never doubt the teenage mind with mom's credit card.
I guess that I've never heard I guess you've seen it all now because somebody's saying cross progression would be bad. I don't get that.
Right.
That's weird. For me personally, that's helping the industry. Call me crazy, but that's exactly what that is. And it seems like Microsoft is all for that and Sony isn't.
Right.
Sony eventually is going to be in a place where they're going to have no choice to do this stuff. Microsoft is setting themselves up to win next generation. Well, and, cross progression is where it's at. Like I said, I don't give two shits about cross play, especially with PC.
Well, crossplay is huge, especially for publishers, and especially the small publishers who still find it a big struggle to find space for their games. I'll say this again. And a perfect example might have been Lawbreakers. The game struggled to find an audience on PlayStation 4. Imagine if they had brought that game out simultaneously, had crossplay in it. That game might have actually found enough people to keep it afloat, but instead it's dead. I'm not trying to rag on the game. I played it briefly. I mean, and it wasn't really a bad game. I just think that they jumped on that Me Too bandwagon very quickly, came out at the wrong time, just chose one console to go with, and people were still playing other games. But just think about that. If that had have existed, it was out on both consoles, there was crossplay in place, there might be a game that could actually have found, and this is not, I just use that as a prime example, but there's hundreds of other games right now that are, that could definitely find extra user bases, and more people playing means more money being spent on microtransactions. It's pretty logical. This is why the publishers are pushing hard for it.
It's great for the developers and publishers, Noof, because they get the double dip, but Sony, even though Sony could reap some of the rewards, they look at it as we have more to lose than the game. And that may be, that the jury's out, right? So we don't know the metrics on that. Xbox, since they're in second, third, fourth place, depending on the month, they don't really give a shit. Because at this point, they're like, hey, we can only go up. You know what I mean? They can really only go up. So, Microsoft gets to look like the good guy. Some people were saying on Twitter the other day, they're like, man, there's not enough console war stuff. The reason the console war stuff kind of died out is that Microsoft doesn't Microsoft's just like, what are they doing to give any ammo to the media anymore? They're nothing. Like the media's like, you know what Microsoft did? They donated $10 million to a lot.
How dare they, Mooch? How dare they?
Right. So, it's just, my whole thing is just that they light candles and they're just, I don't know.
Give them any ammo. There's no ammo.
There's no ammo anymore. So there's really nothing to discuss as far as that end goes, because the media, even if you could see clearly the media, I find it just ironic. I really still find it very ironic. Every time there's a Let's Play of any game, they still play on the PlayStation 4. It doesn't matter what it is. Very rarely. I know someone will be like, that's not true, Mooch. Look. I love how people do that. Isn't that great? That's what's great about the internet and YouTube. Everyone's like when I say they don't, that means that it's never happened in the existence of human beings. I understand that there's an Xbox game being played somewhere on some sort of media channel, but for the most part, everybody works in absolutes. But for the most part,
like Xbox has no games. None. They have no games. Nothing. Zero. Yes. Zero games. Zero games right now.
Mr.
That's what they have.
Zero.
Yes, they have
zero.
Zero. What's your grade point average?
Zero.
0. Point.
And he's got the two pencils in his nose.
Yes.
I mean, it is what it is, but nonetheless, I think that's the case in that matter there, Crap. And we are getting close. We're getting awfully close.
We got one more. We've got Xbox. We got who's gonna win next generation, Xbox or PlayStation? What do you think, Mooch?
I'm gonna, that's a tough one, buddy. If we're starting from zero, which I don't know if we can say we're starting from zero since it's this forward.
Well, let's just start from zero. We'll just start from zero.
If it starts from zero and you get to restart the counter, I think Xbox has a leg up moving forward because they're going to be the strongest console again. I highly doubt they'll lose that power crown. And they're coming out with Game Pass. They've got all their services lined up. They're lined up. There's no difference between today and 2 years from now, except for probably better services coming from Microsoft. And they have 5 new studios. Not to mention probably they'll add 1 or 2 AA ones coming up. So they're going to have 5 to 7 new studios. And then you're going to have the 4 studios they have on lockdown. And then they're going to have the money they can spend on third-party marketing deals. So just off of that criteria, if we're restarting, so everybody that's a Sony fan, don't freak out. Okay? Don't freak out. I'm not saying that Sony's in trouble. I'm saying Microsoft, if it was to start over again in 2020, that November date, whatever it is, that they would have a leg up because I think they have their services in place where Sony doesn't. Okay. Yeah. And then if they do the streaming with the Scarlet Cloud, that's them taking care of PS Now. And they've already got a great system in Game Pass. Now, if they start to utilize it correctly, a little bit better, get a little bit bigger names in there, they really got something on their hands. And then they have the Power Crown and 7 new studios. Like I said, 5 they mentioned, maybe 2 AAs, which is what Booty said, not Mooch. Booty said it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matt
Booty to be precise. Okay. Yes. So that right there, Crap, just leads me to believe that Xbox could, if the counter was starting at 0 again, Xbox could take off. But since it's not, I do think PlayStation may have a bit of an advantage out the gate because of their, larger install base. So, I mean, you have to take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I think Microsoft is going to close the gap incredibly well. Hit that like button while you guys are at it, over 300 watching. Appreciate it. I think Microsoft is going to do extremely well to close the gap. I think the fact that they're going to be able to offer some streaming to people, maybe it'll help, but I sort of doubt it. I think the fact that they're going to have a killer launch lineup, that to me is the biggest thing that they have going for them, because Sony looks like they're going to get all their big hitters out right at the end of this generation, and which means they would start slow in the next generation. That's Microsoft's biggest opportunity.
Probably holding on to 2 of those 4 crap for next gen, right?
They could be cross-gen. Yeah, right. I mean, they've already said these are going to be PS4, but they could be PS5 as well, Right. But I still think that would be smart on their part, because they don't even have release years on those games that they showed at E3, right? So that's what we could be seeing. But I still think Microsoft with a Fable, Forza, Gears, Halo, and maybe something from Ninja Theory, I think that's a much bigger lineup to start a generation off with, and they have a better chance of doing well out of the gate. And I think as long as they have that power crown and they have a respectable price point, they have a really good chance. The only reason why Sony is going to put up any kind of a real fight is because they're a bigger name worldwide. I think Microsoft will take back the US next generation and probably the UK and stuff like that. But I still think there's a lot of territories.
Oh, yeah. If you're talking worldwide sales, Xbox, I don't think will ever win that.
Yeah. But I think it'll be close. But because you can look at the 360 versus PS3, and 360 did incredibly well. They took so much of Sony's market share that generation, right? You can say what you want. Oh yeah, they caught up there towards the end. But at the end of the day, Microsoft took what they wanted from Sony because they got a lead. They got a jump on them. They had got some good games out, exclusives. They had Gears. They need that to start off next generation, and I think that's going to be important. So I don't know if they're going to win next generation, but they're certainly going to give Sony a run for the money,
right?
In my opinion. So I think that's what we're going to be looking at. So
Go ahead,
And
Noof.
with that,
Well, you better let Noof get.
What do you think?
I don't have much to say on the matter other than I agree with you guys. I think worldwide Sony takes it because they just have such a presence in the Asian market between China and Japan, where Xbox has tried 3 different consoles now and hasn't made a single dent over there. It's beyond embarrassing, the numbers, but I mean, kudos to them for sticking with it. North America will be a different picture. I mean, if you look at the numbers in North America, Xbox has been going, even the Xbox One has been going toe to toe with the PS4. The numbers aren't that drastically different, but it's mostly China, Japan, parts of Europe, and that's just because PlayStation's had a very big presence there for a very long time, and it's the way that they're marketed in some of those countries, where it's that's pretty much it. But I mean, Microsoft is in a good shape. If they do come out with the 2 SKUs, if they have an ultra inexpensive stream box, it's going to do really well, I think, for a lot of people, as long as they got good internet and stuff. And if they come out with a hardcore, disc-based console, the hardcores are going to snap that up. I think it's a win-win scenario, to be honest.
Yep. And just one more. Van City's like, Sony beat 360. No, they didn't. There was only one site. It was like VG Charts. If Sony would have beat the 360 in sales, they would have announced it from the mountaintops. The fact is they didn't. Not only did they not admit that, but you have to look at the fact that the PS2 completely dominated and had 90% of the market share. For them to completely get beat out by the Wii and the 360, that is incredible. Dude, Van City, show me where Sony came out and said, hey, we beat the 360. Not VG Charts, not some secondhand site, and I'll buy you a gift card for your platform of choice, my friend, on my Twitter. Yeah. You will not find any legit information from Sony admitting that they won or giving numbers that they beat 360. Only third-party sites said that. It was like VG Charts or something like that. I can guarantee you. And VG Charts is 100% made up numbers.
Yeah.
There you go. With that, we appreciate you guys checking it out. Hit that like button. We really do appreciate it. We've got Crossfire podcast tomorrow. It's going to be a hell of a show.
7 p.m.
It is. Go check out the Saltiest podcast. It's about to start right now.
Salty.
Tell them Crapgamer and Mooch and Noof sent you.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you next time. Hit that like button. Boom, boom, kaboom. Boom. Later. Peace out.